You'll see many more reviewers, games, and forums. So much more to see at MediaSlayersProduction.com. Hello listeners, and welcome to a new show of mine, an Otaku Rant. In this I hope I can entertain you all by simply ranting over a microphone. In other words, I've taken the Otaku review to its lowest common denominator, and now making a still picture rant show. Who am I ripping off now, you may ask? Well, it's not important, and frankly, neither is our first topic. Recently, I had the unique displeasure of cameoing in a certain crossover review on Media Slayers, the review of Sindragon's fanfic, Oho's Chosen One. Some of you who follow our famous fanfic reviewer may be well aware of the infamous works of Sindragon, and while it's perfectly normal for anyone who is making a cameo not to know anything about the source material, I actually took the time to read the story. And now I'm paying for therapy because of it. Seeing as things are slightly gotten out of hand over the whole Sindragon thing, what with FFC releasing a video aimed directly at him and all, I thought now was definitely not the time to release this. But seeing as I really don't care what some feline fetish freak who may turn out to be exactly like Chris Chan thinks, I'm releasing it anyway. So here's my shorter rip of the review of Sindragon's Ho-Oh Chosen One. So let's do this in a little way the employers like to call the sandwich. This is where I sandwich all the bad things that I have to review about in between two buns of good points that I may be able to find. So let's start our sandwich off the right way, and let me state that I kinda like the idea of Oho having a chosen human. In Pokemon 2000, Ash is called the Chosen One, which is kind of a vague statement in terms of the entire Pokemon universe. Is he the Chosen One, destined to be at every inciting incident of the Pokemon universe forever? Or is he simply the Chosen One for this particular world-shattering disaster? Well, given that the movies continued after the second one and Ash has been in every single one, I think we can pretty much assume that he is pretty much the chosen Messiah. However, when I got wind of the second Chosen One for Oho in the story, it made me feel kinda hopeful. Like playing Lord of the Rings Third Age, and when you're trying to reach a feeling of accomplishment that you'll know will never be yours because you're not a main character. Alright, now we get to the meat of the sandwich. And like a sandwich, there's only so much you can cram into it before it becomes unmanageable. So I'll do my best to try and keep it short from here. First, we get to the main character, Stuart. And you know you're in for a treat when the author lists the character's age, which is always just over legal age, before even getting to the physical description of the character. Funny thing about him being 19 and all is that he's just started his Pokemon journey, with a Charizard no less. Okay, so what was he doing during the 9 years while all of his buddies were off adventuring at age 10? I could list off the events in the fanfic just as well as anyone, but FFC and the honest reviewer have already done it, so let's get on to the plot inconsistencies. First off, legendary cats. This is by far one of the most annoying aspects to anyone who is a fan of the Pokemon franchise. They're dogs. Dogs. Even my mother knows that they're dogs. Now I can see where a layman could make this mistake, but if you spent even a second of time learning to spell their names correctly, which I know you did because even I can't spell Suicune without looking it up, you would see that they're dogs. So there's no excuse for this, other than to give the author a reason to stick his in them. Freaky feline lover. Second, why are all the Pokemon female? Suicune I could see you getting away with, but Raikou and Entei? Nothing about Entei makes me think woman. Lastly, dear sweet mother of Bella Dandy, Erd, and all that is wired, what the hell is with this sex scene? Listen, it's not uncommon to hear that people write about sex. In fact, there are some who make a decent living out of it. However, from what I can honestly see, no one is interested in your sexual fantasies about 3 legendary dogs. Emphasis on the dogs. I'm not even touching the grammar mistakes, and I have not read the second chapter, and I don't plan to. But I did go to the end to see if the conclusion was exactly what I thought it was. Yes it was. So in the end, what did this have to do with being Oho's Chosen One? Absolutely nothing! That means that the only thing I liked about the story has nothing to do with the story. Why have it at all? Why not just have Stuart and Suicune were friends? They f***ed, end of story. Why even have build-up if the second chapter is really just going to be a continuation of what happened for half the first chapter? Why even have 2 chapters at all? That brings us around to you, Mr. Sindragon. Honestly, I'm not really mad at you for writing this. I pity you. And I can only assume that your path of self-destruction will logically bring you to hours of hurt and serious troll lulls. And now that you've started posting videos on YouTube, it's only a matter of time. Oh right, I nearly forgot to end the sandwich with a positive note. At least you spelt all the Pokemon's name correctly. I'm Otaku, and this has been an Otaku Rant.